The Baltimore Ravens just made one of the most aggressive moves in franchise history. According to reports from Adam Schefter and multiple national outlets, the Las Vegas Raiders have agreed to trade five-time Pro Bowl defensive end Maxx Crosby to Baltimore in a blockbuster deal that will reshape the defensive landscape of the NFL. The price was massive. Baltimore will send first-round draft picks in both 2026 and 2027 to Las Vegas in exchange for Crosby. The trade cannot officially be processed until the new league year begins next week, but the agreement itself is already sending shockwaves around the league. The deal immediately becomes one of the boldest transactions the Ravens have ever made. For decades, Baltimore has built a reputation as one of the most disciplined front offices in professional football. The organization is known for careful roster construction, patient draft development, and avoiding the kind of high-risk blockbuster trades that dominate headlines during the offseason. In fact, according to reporting from Jeff Zrebiec of The Athletic, the Ravens had never traded a first-round pick for a veteran player in the entire history of the franchise. That changed the moment they decided to pursue Crosby, and the move signals something very clear. Baltimore believes its championship window is open right now. The Ravens already have one of the most electrifying quarterbacks in football in Lamar Jackson. But throughout Jackson's tenure with the team, the defense has rarely had a truly dominant edge rusher capable of consistently wrecking opposing offenses. Baltimore defenses have historically been strong in the secondary and at linebacker, but elite pass rushers are the type of players who can completely alter postseason games. That is exactly what Crosby brings. Since entering the league in the 2019 NFL Draft, Crosby has developed into one of the most relentless defenders in football. Drafted in the fourth round out of Eastern Michigan, he quickly established himself as a cornerstone player for the Raiders franchise. Over 7 seasons in Las Vegas, Crosby became the emotional leader of the defense and one of the most productive pass rushers in the NFL. He recorded double-digit sacks in 4 different seasons and built a reputation for his unmatched motor. Coaches and teammates frequently describe Crosby as a player who never stops attacking the quarterback, no matter the situation or score. That effort level helped him earn 5 Pro Bowl selections and eventually a lucrative contract extension. Last year, the Raiders rewarded Crosby with a 3-year deal worth approximately $106.5 million. At the time, the contract briefly made him the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history, a reflection of how valuable elite pass rushers have become in the modern NFL. Although that record has since been surpassed by other players, Crosby's value remains enormous. Baltimore will now control Crosby's contract for the next 4 seasons, beginning with a cap hit of roughly $35.8 million in 2026. While that figure is significant, it reflects the price teams are willing to pay for a defensive superstar capable of dominating games. And for the Ravens, that price may be worth it. The team is entering a period of transition. After a disappointing 2025 season, longtime head coach John Harbaugh stepped down from his role. The organization then hired former Los Angeles Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter as the new head coach. Minter arrives with a reputation as one of the league's brightest defensive minds. His schemes emphasize aggressive pressure packages, creative defensive fronts, and versatile pass rushers who can disrupt opposing quarterbacks. Crosby fits that philosophy perfectly. With his combination of power, speed, and relentless effort, Crosby gives Minter the type of defensive centerpiece every coordinator dreams of building around. Imagine the ripple effect. Offensive lines will be forced to double-team Crosby on passing downs. That creates one-on-one opportunities for the rest of Baltimore's defensive front. Blitz packages become more dangerous because quarterbacks must account for Crosby before even identifying additional rushers. In short, the entire defense becomes more explosive. There's also reason to believe that Baltimore's offensive leader may have known about the move before it became public. Shortly after news of the trade surfaced, observers noted that Jackson appeared unusually enthusiastic in social media activity earlier in the day, leading to speculation that the star quarterback had been informed about the deal ahead of time. If that's true, it wouldn't be surprising. The Ravens may soon need Jackson's cooperation financially. Entering the offseason, Baltimore had roughly $18.6 million in available cap space for 2026, according to Over the Cap. That limited flexibility could require the team to restructure Jackson's contract in order to accommodate Crosby's cap hit while still filling out the rest of the roster. And the Ravens have other important decisions looming. Center Tyler Linderbaum and tight end Isaiah Likely are among the notable free agents the team must evaluate. Retaining both players could prove difficult now that such a significant portion of financial resources is tied to Crosby's contract. In other words, the Ravens are clearly prioritizing elite defensive impact over roster depth. The gamble is straightforward. If Crosby transforms the defense into a dominant unit capable of closing games in the postseason, the trade will be remembered as a franchise-defining move. But if the team struggles to manage the cap or loses key contributors because of the financial commitment, critics will question whether the price was too steep. The deal also highlights an interesting subplot involving the Dallas Cowboys, Mambre. According to Schefter, Dallas made a serious push to acquire Crosby, reportedly offering a first-round pick along with a second-round selection. That's a strong proposal by most standards, but Baltimore's willingness to include 2 first-round picks ultimately won the bidding war. It's a reminder of just how valuable Crosby is across the league. Meanwhile, the Raiders' decision to trade him comes after months of speculation about the relationship between Crosby and the organization. Earlier this year, reports suggested tension developed when Las Vegas placed Crosby on injured reserve near the end of the season. The defensive star reportedly believed he could continue playing despite a knee injury, while the team opted to shut him down for the final games. That decision reportedly strained the relationship. During that stretch, the Raiders were also sliding toward the top of the draft order, something Crosby, known for his ultra-competitive mentality, clearly disliked. For a player who prides himself on relentless effort and winning culture, the idea of losing games for draft positioning likely clashed with his mindset. Eventually, the situation reached a point where both sides appeared ready for a new chapter. Now that chapter will begin in Baltimore. For the Ravens, the message to the rest of the NFL is unmistakable. They are going all in on chasing a Super Bowl. For the Raiders, the trade represents a chance to rebuild using premium draft capital. And for Maxx Crosby, it's an opportunity to bring his relentless playing style to a franchise that believes he could be the final piece of a championship defense. The Baltimore Ravens just made one of the most aggressive moves in franchise history. According to reports from Adam Schefter and multiple national outlets, the Las Vegas Raiders have agreed to trade 5-time Pro Bowl defensive end Maxx Crosby to Baltimore in a blockbuster deal that will reshape the defensive landscape of the NFL. The price was massive. Baltimore will send first-round draft picks in both 2026 and 2027 to Las Vegas in exchange for Crosby. The trade cannot officially be processed until the new league year begins next week, but the agreement itself is already sending shockwaves around the league. The deal immediately becomes one of the boldest transactions the Ravens have ever made. For decades, Baltimore has built a reputation as one of the most disciplined front offices in professional football. The organization is known for careful roster construction, patient draft development, and avoiding the kind of high-risk blockbuster trades that dominate headlines during the offseason. In fact, according to reporting from Jeff Zrebiec of The Athletic, the Ravens had never traded a first-round pick for a veteran player in the entire history of the franchise. That changed the moment they decided to pursue Crosby, and the move signals something very clear. Baltimore